Content SEO marketing versus social media marketing. That is the topic of the day. That is the topic for today. And that's a topic that you're going to hear a lot about. And I'm really excited that this is a topic that you can learn something from just because there's some things that you have to really understand. It's hard to understand some things when there's so many things coming at you at the same time, right? And welcome, Mary. There's so many things that you can do as a business owner, but sometimes we ask ourselves, are we really ready for all these things? Are we really understanding what we're doing with the content we're pushing out? Do we need to do content every day so that we can make traffic or make sales or make impact, whatever the case may be? How do we do these things? Welcome, Sky. Welcome, Nalia. Welcome, Musin. Thanks for being here. Clinton as well. Everybody is, coming into the room. Appreciate you all. I'm excited about this topic today because there's so many things that we have to understand and ask ourselves, what is the major goal for 2025? Are we creating more content or are we creating more awareness? I think that should be the major question. Are we creating more content or are we creating more awareness? That's the major question because content SEO marketing is about content awareness, right? When you think about social media marketing, there's a lot of content, but it's more so for engagement purposes, right? When you hear the word social media, it's social. It's not lonely media. It's social. So there is social media, not lonely media. Welcome, Shara. Good to have you here. Candice, Iris, Susan, Anisha, thanks for being here. So it's social media marketing, right? Social media is a great place to be in 2025. And if they, connected to it, then there's going to be that content awareness. Think about the awareness that you're giving people because it's traffic, right? If you really think about it, I did the math. I've been doing a lot of math for the past weekend because I've been trying to really, that's why I've not been doing Clubhouse a lot because I want to come and give you some stats because when I was here on Friday, was it Friday? Let me check the replays. 1 second. Today is March 10th. Okay, March 7th was a Friday. Yeah, Friday. I was here on Friday and I went on Zoom, right? And I broke down a Facebook ad that I was running. It was not even up to $50 yet. And I was running it for $5 a day. And I was telling people like if you just put $5 a day into your business, that's 1825 a year, right? $5 times 365. If you do that 1825 for the year, just that alone, but you're super, 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 super focused on the people that you're attracting, right? The content SEO marketing is where you're going to be actually having high results. So I've been helping clients this whole month, actually the whole year, but more intensely this past month after Valentine's because people were doing it, but I think it really like dawned on them like, oh, okay, we need to put email marketing, we need to put SEO, we need to put ads, we need to, we need to do things correctly. And I said, okay, let me kick it off first before anyone else runs ads. Let me test this out. So I've been running an ad for 12 days, right? 12 days, 12 times 5 is 60. So I've been running this ad for about 12 days now. And as I'm speaking to you, right now, okay, it's gone up a few dollars. So it's 64.21 now. So I've spent $64.21. I've gotten 397 clicks and I've spent 16 cents per click. Now, that is traffic awareness. That's content awareness, right? Because what I'm really running, it's a video. This is a video. So sometimes when you think about it, it's not just, a graphic or a static. It's video, because when you're running ads with video, that's more money you're putting in because it's a video. But when you put in the right places, I chose 13 cities and I'm now down to 8. So there's a formula, there's a reason why I chose 13 and 8. So when you look at the numbers and you start seeing what it's creating on the back end for you, you start realizing that, okay, you're getting traffic. Because social media wise, if you're social media marketing, then there are two things you're doing. You're either running ads on social media or you're posting consistently on social media. One of those two, or you could be doing both. But most times people are just posting on social media and not running ads, or running ads and not posting on social media, or doing both, or doing none at all. So you're probably in one of those brackets. You're either doing both, or you're not doing anything, or either or is happening between the two. So, and vice versa. So if you are creating content for SEO marketing, then the leading question should be, is my website bringing traffic because I'm answering questions? And if I'm answering questions, do I have pages on my website that are in form of a question? Because when you go to google.com, everything you see there's people also ask, what do you see there? Questions. So success leaves blueprints, right? There, it's right in front of you in plain sight. So if you're answering questions that your business is asking, that Google is asking, because there's something called Google Learn About. I don't know if you ever heard about that. There's something called, just Google Learn About. Just type on google.com, Google Learn About. When you see it, I'll actually make it easier for you. I'm going to put the link in the chat because I want to make life easy for you. I don't want you to start Googling things and trying to figure out what's going on. Boom, here we go. The link is in the chat. Type your name there, type your business there, and then tell me. You can put in the chat if you try it out before the room closes, and just find out. Let me know. What do you see? What do you get? What is the result that you see? Do you see your business name? Does Google know about you well enough to even, have information about your business? That's a real question. So the goal is, how do you really put into perspective connecting with people and also showing up for people by having social media, but more importantly, thinking about content SEO? Because when you think about content SEO, it's not just content. You start off with questions, you lead with call to actions, you ask people questions in between the questions, because those are questions people are going to eventually ask. So if you have a blog, an article, a newsletter, and you're answering questions, it helps. I was looking at my email analytics and the analytics for the email platform on Flowdesk, and I noticed that one of the top emails that have been sent that have had the highest opens, and there are two of them, they're the ones that have question marks. So I was like, huh, okay, because I wouldn't know that if I didn't try. Right? You will never know something if you don't try. You will know if this thing is chilly, it's hot, it's cold. You wouldn't know these things until you try. So I tried it and I was like, huh, okay. Now I see that people are opening because of questions. And you also don't want to abuse it either. You don't want to do too much. You want to make sure that you're doing it in a very organized way so that it's also helpful for your business to grow. Because if it's every time a question, I mean, great, but you want to spark interest. You don't want to burn it you down. You want to give people a chance to at least breathe and enjoy it. Let them go through it as well and see, okay, do they like it? Do they not like it? What is the thing that they actually like the most? Right? So I had two. The first one was, these were the two questions I asked. And this was last year. I'm looking at the stats. June 27th, 2024 and July 22nd, 2024. The one in June 27, 2024 was loving the new price structure, question mark with a smiley face, right? And then the one that now beat that by even 1,000 opens, 1,000 more opens, which was, yeah, who doesn't love hotels? So question mark and emoji. So there's a question mark, there's an emoji, you're humanizing the brand, there's content, and there's SEO at the same time. Because somebody who clicks on a link is it's equals to SEO. Anytime somebody clicks something, that's SEO. You may say, what does that mean? It means that if somebody's clicking on something to go to somewhere, if you put in something in your GPS right now and you're driving somewhere, that's SEO. Why? You've searched on an engine that has optimized a result based on your query. That's the simple formula of SEO. One plus one is two. So if you ask a question, if you ask Siri, if you ask Alexa, if you ask ChatGPT, and you get a response, that's because the response you're getting is from a question that you asked. So if you have the answer to that question that you know people are always asking, then there's going to come a point when your question becomes a priority on the search bar because you have an answer on your page that they're looking for. So when you think about content marketing with SEO versus social media, the major question should be, am I writing content for SEO or am I writing content just to show up on the timeline? Right? Anytime I post anything on a timeline, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, X has been down all day. I don't know if it's back yet. So much has been going on in the tech world today. So much is happening. All these platforms up, down, surge problems, server down. At the end of the day, your website is going to be your first priority. They say charity begins at home. That's your homepage. You can't give what you don't have. So when you start giving information in form of content, and it doesn't have to be only text, it could be audio, right? That's a podcast. It could be Clubhouse. There could be video. That's YouTube, right? Even right now, I don't know if you've seen this, but I saw this news last week. And I always love to give this insight so that you can also, Google this for yourselves and also go to the Wealth Instagram account. It's called Wealth. I got to see this and I was really surprised, but I was also like not surprised at the same time because Spotify is in competition with Apple, also in competition with YouTube, right? Those are the big ones. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, right? And of course, there's Google. So Google and YouTube now are contributing to about 1 billion searches for podcasts right now in 2025. So if your website has content and that content is in form of a podcast, is in form of an article, it's in form of a PDF, it's in form of an FAQ, it's in form of an example, it's in form of a template, it's in form of a cartoon, it's in form of something that someone can consume, then it's easy for someone to understand it. And then when you're on LinkedIn, when you're on Facebook, when you're on Instagram, when you're on Snapchat, for those who are on Snapchat, you're using these platforms to create awareness. So social media marketing is simply posting content on social media. You're marketing on social media. That's what social media marketing is. You're marketing on social media. So if I'm marketing on social media, what social media platform am I using to market my product or service? If I'm using LinkedIn, okay, am I using everything on LinkedIn? Am I collaborating? Am I contributing? Do I have a company page? Do I have, a personal page? Am I writing content on newsletters? Am I in creator mode? Do I have videos? Do I have carousels? Am I using all the features? Am I verified? Am I just answer those questions? Like, just check off the list. Boom, 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 boom. Before you know, you're like, okay, I've probably done 3 out of 10. I need to do the other 7. And then before you know it, you've done 10 in a week or in 2 weeks. Then you move on to something else. Same thing for your website. Do I have a domain? If I don't have a domain, how am I going to build it? Okay, I have a domain now. It's a fresh domain. Have I connected my website to console? Have I connected it to analytics? Have I added a heat map to my website? These are things you check off. Just like when you start a business account, when you have a business, do I have a business account? Do I have EIN number? Do I have a DBA LLC, S Corp, C Corp? Like you check off those things, because you have responsibilities, you have essentials, you have things you have to do. So it's the same thing with your website. It's the same thing with your social media. What platform am I going to use for my marketing? Not everyone is going to be on a platform. But here's the thing about social media marketing. If there's nothing you're going to take from today's room, take this. For you to succeed on social media in 2025, you need to mix these two things together. If you don't mix these two things together, you're going to be lost in the sauce. I've been saying it all, the whole room, but I want to break it down into these two things. One, you need a community. I know you were thinking a website. You need a community. A community. And where does that community live? Emails. That's the first thing. Why am I saying this the first thing? Because what's the first thing you do when you sign up for an app? When you signed up to Clubhouse, what was the first thing you did? You put your email account, right? When you signed up to Facebook, what was the first thing you did? Even when you wanted to create a Gmail account, what you created a Gmail account with a name. So everything starts off with your name. When you're born, you have a name. So it starts off with the name, community, right? What's the name of your community? And do you have their names on your contact list? That's the first thing, right? There are two things. That's the first thing. Have a community, right? If you're using social media, let's say you don't have time for a website, that's fine. I'm not here trying to tell you buy a website, download a website, build a website. Yes, have one, but don't stress yourself to the point where you're not doing anything else about your business, because those things happen. Sometimes it may take a month, it may take a year, it may take 2 weeks, it may take 2 hours to make that decision. But when it's happening because it's happening for that reason. Sometimes things take time. You don't rush processes, right? So if you have a community, build that community, right? Be on a website, connect with people, right? Go on a podcast, connect with people, build a community. And then when you say, how can people find you? Send them to a place where they can connect with you. Tell them, hey, go to this website, and maybe that domain will just redirect them to a landing page, where that they can sign up and you can get their contacts, or you can use a link tree, or use Milkshake, or use, something that allows you to connect with them. Beacons is there. You can have something to start. That's why I'm saying I'm not here to say create a website. Yes, please do, because you will need one. But social media wise, you need a community. If you want to send an email to broadcast to everyone and tell them something, how are you going to connect with everyone at the same time? And where everyone is everywhere. Yes, emails can be slow. You can send an email today, they might open it next week. But the fact that you sent it says a lot, because people that get those emails, it's not going anywhere. It's in your inbox. If you don't open your mailbox all year, the day you open your mailbox, all those emails, all those mails, the envelopes are all going to be in there, right? All those envelopes are going to be there. It's the same thing with your email. Unless they delete it, that's different. That's called email blindness, because they deleted it as well. So you have to think about what you're putting out there. And if you start thinking about how you put things out there, it helps people understand more about your business. So we're going to dive deep into this. But I want to pause real quick and say hello to you, Shara. Hope you're doing well. Happy Monday. And we actually have a podcast episode that we released. I'm going to put the link at the top so that you guys can tap into it, as Shara is going to speak and also introduce herself. And I'll also check the chat and come back. Shara, passing it to you. Welcome.
Hi, Favor, and hi, everyone. Favor always brings me up. I usually try to sneak my way into the audience and just listen. He always invites me up. um, my name is Shara. I'm a social guide training. I'm a part of the LinkedIn Advisor community. It's a small community that helps enhance the LinkedIn platform. So I have the title of LinkedIn Advisor, among many others. Um, I also have a business called Journey to Licensure where I help my colleagues pass their board exams. Um, my story, I'll make it real quick. Favor knows this pretty well. I built my business from zero to $500,000 in 3 years, and now it's at 1 million. I literally had no, some of the things that Favor is now talking about. I did everything in reverse. I didn't have a website when I started. I didn't even have an email list. I did have many social media channels and in Clubhouse back then. It was about 5 years ago when I started. Um, Clubhouse was just booming, and I ended up using Clubhouse as a funneling system. Um, Building community is so important to drive sales, especially if you don't have money starting out. I didn't when I first started, so I built a room, community there. I just actually closed that community. It's been 4 years. I used to run a study group every Monday for 4 years. Um, and now I'm actually going live on YouTube and TikTok instead. But when I built that community, show what I did consistently, I did it for 6 months relentlessly. And people started finding out more about what I did. And I started to leverage LinkedIn along with Clubhouse at the time. Now I'm across 7 different platforms on top of having a podcast. It wasn't an easy road to get there. I did everything backwards. Um, and still don't actually, my website is, I just got a web designer to redesign my whole website. So a lot of work, but a lot of things that Favor was saying definitely makes sense to me in terms of how important SEO is. It's one thing to have your content up on a social media platform, but it's not yours, it's someone else's. So it's always important to make sure you have somewhere for your community to go. Having an email list is important. I didn't learn about that until about almost a year in. Again, I kind of just jumped in. I knew what my community needed, and I leveraged those pain points. Now it's got a lot more easier with AI and learning how to automate some things. But yeah, Favor just kind of invited me up here, and I did not expect him to. But nonetheless, it's lovely to be here as always. Content for me has always been the driving point, just because my brand was built based off of me relentlessly showing up as I did. Not as polished as I am now, but when I first started, it was just me showing up with a camera and telling a story, and people connected to that story, and that's still what brings people to me many years later, with no paid traffic, um, no functioning website. The one I have is really crappy, but because I'm pretty visible across several platforms at the same time, I do have a small team that helps me now, but I did not have that in the beginning. Um, so I always tell people pick one platform, figure out where your target audience is, and live in those places where they live, whether it's Facebook groups or wherever they are. It's important to know what they're talking about. Another tip I could give, I always have endless content. I did take a 2 month break off of social media because I was just needing a break. I took 2 months off and I'll be running rampant next week. But it's important to capture everything. A lot of times we're looking for content, we're looking for things, and sometimes it's right in front of our faces. I do a lot of consultations. I don't need to now, but I like to keep my ear out for the market and changes. So when I do free consultations, it's free content. My client sessions, it's free content. What are the burning questions? Turning them into dropping them in ChatGPT and having ChatGPT turn them into email marketing. That's um, content, video scripts. It brings people right to me without having to do any of that. Now, I'm at a point now where there's only one me for what I do. There's a lot of need. So I'm in the middle now, going to, in the midst of ending quarter one, now preparing to scale. Just because I can't do what I do, I'm trying to replicate it at this point. And it's a beautiful place to be, but also a stressful place to be. But nonetheless, Favor, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Thank you, Shara. That was amazing. I love that you've used social media in a way that people should use it. Like you literally went robust mode, if I can put it like that, because you bootstrapped, you used the platform, you connected with people, you engaged, and you just didn't post and ghost. And that's why you were able to really engage with people that connected back to you, because you see a comment, you respond back, and it means a whole lot. Sometimes when people leave comments on your social posts and you ignore them, the algorithm will ignore you too. That's what usually happens. It's kind of like that law of reciprocity. If somebody says thank you and you don't say you're welcome, or if I say good morning, you don't say it back, then something's wrong. Like that's already I don't even want to be there. So you create that emotional presence online, and I love that you said that, Shar, because it's just beautiful that you can connect to people that you've never met, but after a couple of videos, series, workshops, calls, consultations, it just gets easier, and then the person be like, oh wow, and then you meet in person, it's like, oh, I really know this person. So it definitely changes everything when you see social media differently, as opposed to it just being a platform that you just want to post and just post because you're waiting for someone to like it or DM you for a call. It's like that doesn't work anymore. So I really appreciate you for bringing that, Shara. Thank you for being here. Juliana, love to have you here. What are your thoughts? Welcome to the room.
Favor, my mouth is open right now. I thought of something to do. I never said it out loud to anybody. Go open Facebook and I see exactly what I was thinking about. This is scary. This is scary. Anyway, I'm just here to support. I'm totally. I was thinking about having a container to collect the rainwater from my roof so I can use it to water my garden. And this is like an hour ago. And I go on Facebook, I see somebody drilling a hole in the top of a barrel, putting a sieve there to collect the rainwater. What are we doing? They are reading our minds.
It's
This is
true.
scary. Okay, anyway, I'm here to say SEO is kin. I met Favor 3 years ago and he built my SEO, and now I no longer do any paid advertising. My Google business is on fire. I do have people showing up wanting to get taxes done. They don't even call, they just show up. And I have two locations. So I had a situation last week. Somebody showed up and I was in the other location. It's like I can't waste by. It's 10 miles apart. So it's so important to put the funds towards your SEO in the beginning of your business. And Shara, I applaud you with all the content. I did the same. I'm being told that I'm the only CPA online who really responds.
Yes,
And
you
so it's
are. I have
important.
to say, you really are, especially right now. I have to say that.
Thank you, sis. So, and the reason why I'm present is there's so many misinformation online. And so my goal in 2018 when I decided to go on Facebook was I want to make sure that you all get the right information. So if when I see something really, really bad, immediately I pounce on it, I make a post and I send it to whoever I can send it to make sure that you all don't get the wrong information. Because if you pick the wrong information and you use it, you might get audited. And so my whole goal is to protect people, and that has really paid off by being present. So I cannot say enough about being present on this social media street if you have the knowledge to help the people. It's not everything that's going to be paid for you, but believe you me, that pays off because when somebody is looking for someone, I get so many referrals from somebody hearing me talk on Clubhouse. In fact, there was a lady I dealt with today. Her account pays me almost 4 or 5 thousand a year, but she never found me on Clubhouse. It was somebody who was in my room and heard me talk and told her to call me. So you see, it always comes back to you. Whatever you throw into the universe, always comes back to you. So that's the 2 cents I want to put in.
Oh, that was gold. That I have to I have to say that's definitely gold. It doesn't happen right away. I know my journey didn't happen. It took me 20 years to do what I did in four. And school did not, as much education I have, it did not prepare me for entrepreneurship. in that way. Um, it's important to have an understanding of the people that you're serving and why you're serving in the first place. If you're looking for money, you're definitely doing it wrong. You have to be in it to serve others, and putting that same energy out in the atmosphere, yes, you do get it back if your intention to serve is pure. If that intention is really to change someone's life, if your service does that, then you have something. I always tell my colleagues that you'll always have money if you go in it with the intention of serving. It's not about money. I can tell you right now that the the revenue that I have now, besides it's nothing but God, um, is accumulation of what I pour into people. Hence, I get it back. It didn't happen in, you know, uh, it didn't happen in weeks. It happened over time. Um, and it happened because I decided to jump, and it happened because I consistently showed up for that community. And I did it freely. It was something I enjoyed doing, helping them pass an exam, which they found really hard, which I knew um, a lot about. And because of that giving, it opened up a whole nother door I never even dreamed of. Um, and not even just talking about money, but in terms of fulfillment, in terms of having flexibility. I'm a mom of three kids, of just living a lifestyle that I created for myself. Um, it's important to know that is still possible, even in the climate that we're in now. And it's important for people to know that there's something on the other side of fear. Eh, I have fear all the time. Favor would believe that, but I do. I'm very introverted. I've learned to be extrovert when I need to, but getting in front of a camera was not my it was not my thing. But I had a mentor from LinkedIn. She said, show up for 90 days doing video. I said, I don't have time for that, but that was out of fear. What if I didn't do that 6, 7 years ago? I don't think I would be where I am right now because I decided to show up. My LinkedIn page is full of stuff, and a lot of people get intimidated by that stuff, a shiny profile. You don't know who's on the other side of that, who's watching you. Even when you think they're not watching, they are. Consistently show up and consistently pour in and make your intention known. But go into it with the mindset of serving, because if you do, you can never go wrong. I promise you that.
100%. These 2 cents are very priceless because you said something that is so important, when you're serving people, especially when you're helping them out, because sometimes it's like you want to help someone and then something happens and you're not sure if you want to help them, or like you start tiptoeing instead of just being yourself and just following through the process, whether things happen or not. And I'll give you an example just to make the analogy so it's clear. Imagine if you're a radio presenter and something happened 5 minutes before you're broadcasting live on air to everybody on TV, and something happens. How are you going to do that? How are you going to go through that, right? Because you're thinking about the people. Yes, at that point, everyone should be thinking about you. But when you start thinking about the people, more people point into you. So when you do things out of that emotional, that heart to heart, that human to human perspective, it's different. And I love that you said that, Shard, too, and Juliana, because these are the times that we don't know what's going to happen, right? We're posting content. I was saying earlier that X is down. I don't know if it's back. Twitter X, it's been down. And when I was reading the comments, it's like it wasn't a normal hack. It was beyond that. Even Elon Musk talked about it himself and said, yeah, the systems and operations were different. So I'm just watching, I'm reading, I'm just researching. I'm like, information just comes. It's not like I'm Googling what is the story of the day. It's happening. And when you're in the right place at the right time, the right things will happen. And that's what happens if somebody finds your content by happenstance, if I put it like that. Because someone can be going online searching for something that you have, but because you don't have a link or a way to give that, it's different. How am I going to give you something I don't have? So when you're using social media, you're bringing people to connect back with you. So that community is so important. is so important. Somebody, reached out to me today. Was like, "Hey, are you doing rooms on Clubhouse anymore? I don't see you there as much." And I was like, "Okay." I love doing rooms like this. And I remember last year I counted. I think I did 190 rooms at least. I actually sat down and did one, two, three, four, five, six, all the way down. I was like, these are and some replays I took off. I was like, what? I've done 190 rooms out of 365 days. That's a lot of hours. And each room was not just 1 hour. Some are two, some are three, some are 30 minutes, some are 2 hours. So all that time, I don't need to do another room on Clubhouse. But like you said, it's to serve, it's to show up, it's to give your time, because that's something that's so valuable that we all have, and it's precious. So even you being here today, listening to replay, listening here live, you could be anywhere else, but you being here, it means a lot to me, to Shara, to Juliana, to everyone around us. If you look up, look down, look left, look right, this room is happening because we're here. It's not because I'm here, it's because we're here. So we're doing this together. And that's why I said, you know what, this room it's much needed, because right now social media is getting stressful, because people don't know what to do. People don't know what platform to use. They don't know whether to run ads on this platform and post daily on the other platform. They don't know whether to turn this account down or get hacked from this one. It's like a lot going on at the same time. So when you think about your platform of choice, you want to be on the right place at the right time. So in the room, we're a couple of people in the room, and I want you to put in the chat, please put in the chat, because I love, just choose one platform, because there are many. Just choose, if you think of a platform and it comes to your mind, social media wise, where would you be for business? Just put in the chat. What social media platform would you be for business? And I'm asking this question because when you give me the answers, I'm going to show you how all these platforms can come back to the center, come back to the focal point. So put it in the chat. Let me know which platform, which social media platform, or, I would say channel or account, depending on what you want, is, really good for you. Okay, so we got Clubhouse. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, okay. Why Clubhouse? As people are going into it, I see someone as my podcast. Okay, Julian.
Clubhouse because people can hear me and hear the authenticity and how I. Because on Facebook you can post till the cows come home. Nobody can tell your passion, how passionate I am with the numbers, and how I think for me audio is better for me. That's why Clubhouse is the most effective medium for me. And I've also built my own private community, financial community. Favor, you're a member. I posted some articles and I have some video clips from my boot camps that I'm promoting for my financial literacy that I've built. But I didn't build it on any social media platform because with a one wrong thing, they can shut you down. You can lose your business. So this is on my own. And so my encouragement to everybody, for business continuity reason, you need to have your own platform where you are paying, write it off as a business expense. You can make a portion of it free. You can have a paid wall so people can get more for it, but have a free version of it. The free community is free, but then I have the membership. But a lot of my success since 2020, from the COVID time or since Clubhouse came, I've done more. Plus, I met Favor here who helped me with my SEO. So I've quadrupled in size. So I'll say Clubhouse is my number one social media.
Thank you, Juliana. Yeah, definitely. I can see that, Clubhouse has definitely changed a lot of, lives for people. I think this is year 5 for me too. So yeah, being on this platform has changed. Even the podcasts, the podcast grew to 123 countries. I know a portion of that came from Clubhouse to some extent. I don't know to what extent, but to some extent, organically connecting with people. And it's a real thing, doing this thing consistently. It's not easy. I was talking to someone today. Yeah, I was recording a podcast episode today, And this guy has been sending me LinkedIn messages from, I think, last year. I was like, what? How did I miss this? He sent me messages, was like, hey, we'd love to connect, we'd love to connect, we'd love to connect, we'd love to connect, we'd love to connect. I'm like, who is this guy? I was like, you know what? Let me just cut to the chase. I sent a voice message and I said, here's the link. If you really want to connect, book a call and let's go on a podcast and talk. And he booked a call and we talked today. And I was like, wow, this guy was really intense. And I was like, you know what? I like the way he did it because he's in sales. Because we're talking about sales and how, this guy's an OG. Like this guy is in his 60s. So like he's done it all. So I was like, wow, like it's such an honor, to connect with people like this who are like killing it, doing things, big things out there. And I'm just interviewing them. I'm just asking questions. And then the podcast grows. So he was like, yeah. So I now said, okay, after the podcast, I said, hey, could we exchange recommendations? You can leave a recommendation of mine and vice versa. He's like, yeah. And that's what happened. And I think in the last week, I've had like two recommendations. And the last time I had one was, I think, last year. And before that was, I think, 2022. So I was like, wait, I've been sleeping on these recommendations. Imagine the number of LinkedIn connections I've made through podcasting that would have just been there. But you know what? Better late than never, because you're so focused on so many things that you kind of forget the little things. So that's something I do now. And, it's a win-win. So if somebody sees that, it's a great way to connect with them. So social media is so powerful because that's where credibility is. Right now, you can't even do that. And speaking of credibility, to the point where like even for you to be verified, with government and documents and all these things, you're going to go through social media too. If you want to get a grant, if you want to get a business loan and all these things, social media is going to be part of it. So we can't really run away from social media. I was helping a client today because she was so frustrated with somebody at Upwork. She was trying to hire somebody at Upwork and she was so frustrated because this person was all the way in another country. And we set up a call, and apparently on Upwork you can't use a Zoom call from, like, you can't send a Zoom. There's an actual Upwork Zoom link. And I was like, huh? Because I looked at the URL. I was like, upwork.zoom.us. I was like, huh, okay, that's a different subdomain. So I was like, whatever, let's let's do this. For me, it's like, let's work, let's go, let's go. And then I get in and I'm now getting a message saying, oh, she's so frustrated that the person rescheduled, the person doesn't show up, either the computer doesn't turn on. There's so many things that it's like time is going. We don't have time. Like, look at, we just lost an hour. Like, time is going. So if we're not spending time in the right places, we're going to lose time completely, and you can't get it back. So I was like, you know what? Let me just let me just put my thinking cap on. And then I was like, by the way, have you ever posted a job on LinkedIn before? Because I've done it before, and I helped a client get somebody to get hired, and he literally in one day he got the person and closed the deal, and the person now is working with him and he's doing really well. So today the same thing happened. Out of her frustration, I could tell in her voice, she was so frustrated. I was like, what can I do to help her? What can I do? What can I do? Then I was like, bingo, LinkedIn. Because I was already on LinkedIn at the time and I was looking at it in my screen. I was like, by the way, have you tried it? She's like, no. I was like, okay, let's get on a quick call. And I showed her how to do it. She posted it. She got about 30 applicants and she's already, vetted two. So, and this is just today. Like, this is just today. So I'm like, yeah, I don't like people being frustrated around me. I like to help people save money, save time, save energy. But sometimes you can't help. I mean, I can help you, but you got to help yourself first by raising your hand or asking a question. So that's how I was able to tell. And this was early in the morning. This is 7 a.m. This is 7 p.m. now. So this is like 7 a.m. in the morning because I woke up early. I was like, yeah, I want to make sure this is done. So we're doing these things to help people, but sometimes people don't even really see the value. So you have to think about your business long term and ask yourself, hey, am I really doing social media for posting sake? Or am I actually putting out social media so that I can send a message? If I'm social media marketing, it means that I'm consistently showing up. I gave you guys a figure today, and for those who have just joined the room, I'll give you the figure again. If you spend in 2025 1825 on yourself, if you want to run ads for the year, that's what I'm doing. I've already spent about $64 and I'm close to 400 clicks at 16 cents per click. If you invest in yourself and you put $5 a day for 365 days this year, that's 1825. And if you're running it consistently and sending them to a place where they can learn more about you, that is social media marketing. You choose the platform that you want to market on, and then you use the same platform to post organically. This is what I mean. If you run ads on Facebook and Instagram, then you should be posting on Facebook and Instagram too. Don't just run ads and then go ghost mode, because the person who is going to check out your post, right, is going to see that post and then return that post back to your social media. So if they see your ad, they'll be like, okay, I like this ad. Let me click to social media and then rewire that into that frame. I'm able to know, oh, okay, this is how it works, because now I'm connecting with people on social media who are already on social media, if that makes sense. Like I wake up, I use TikTok, I use Instagram, I use Facebook, I use LinkedIn. In a day, see how many hours you've spent on each platform. If you use an iPhone, every weekend, I think it's on Sundays, like yesterday, if you check your screen time, it will tell you what platforms you've used over the week, right? And I'm sure for Android, there should be a way to know that too. Just check and see what platforms you're using. Because when you use those platforms, it allows you to know exactly where your business is going to be. Because when you now start running these ads on social media and you're sending them to a place where they can learn more about you, you're getting to know more about the people you're connecting with. And why am I saying that this is important, right? Yes, post on social media, post content, but also target your content correctly. Because when you start posting your content and you realize that one state or one city is actually performing better than the other, then that means you're gaining more threshold in that place over the other place. So that means when you write content, then you're writing content to support that market. Because if you take out the ing from marketing, it's market, content SEO market, social media market. So where's the market? Is the market on social media? Is the market on search engines? Is the market on email? Is the market on Facebook? Is the market on billboards? Is the market on TV? Where's the market? How do I get to the market? And then when I get to the market, what do I have on my post that's going to show that my content is for this market? So when you're using social media, you're using social media to connect the dots and help more people. So, like even Joanne asked earlier, so SEO marketing is SEO marketing better or social media? You've been wondering about this question. Now, it's not about what's better, because if you now do what's better, it's like who's a better child, the first, the second, or the third? You can't really say that, right? You want to have the momentum to keep both working together, because they have to work hand in hand. Just like all your body parts have to work hand in hand, to make sure that everything is working together. An operating system requires all departments to work together, right? A car needs all functionalities to work together to have that motionless, seamless process. So it's not about which one is better. It's about how do they complement each other, right? You can't say this guy is better than this other guy, or this girl is better than this other girl. They're both great in what they do, and you're able to complement each other, because there's something that I don't, and there's something I know that you don't. So when we're able to now work together, it now makes it better. So when it becomes better as a unit, as opposed to it being better as, one over the other, then this is now a compounding factor, because it creates exactly the spider web. Thank you, Tracy. It's a spider web, right? Because you're connecting the dots. If I'm on Clubhouse right now and this room closes, someone will go to LinkedIn, somebody else will go to Facebook, somebody else will go to a podcast, somebody else will go to Instagram, somebody else will go somewhere. And then by the end of the day, you're like, oh, wow, okay, I spent time with this person. Now I get kind of know them, and now we're connected. So it starts off with building intentions from understanding where are we going with content. So if you think about content SEO, for those who want to just kind of like draw the line, because it's also very important to draw the line and see like, okay, what is what? Like, what are we looking for here? And if you have any questions, please make sure that you click the link that I've just put at the top so we can get on a call and talk about this for 20 minutes. Your social media doesn't connect to SEO, does it? It does. It does. It has to. Your social media has to connect to SEO, because if your social media is disconnected from SEO, then it means your brand is disconnected from your audience. That's what it means. So you're creating consistent content on social media to build content awareness about your brand. So when you build awareness about your brand, it makes somebody understand what services you provide, what content you do. Like, for example, if you click the link above and you now start answering the questions, one of the questions on this, request form before you now get on the booking meeting link is, what services do you need? Like, what are the services you need, right? Because if I know what services you need, that's going to have a better way on you, and it's going to have a better result for you. Because if you're looking for paid ads and I'm talking to you about podcasts, or I'm talking to you about billboards, that whole conversation is missed. And everybody goes home not the way they came, worse. And that's not what I'm here for. I want to make you better. I want to make you feel better about, the process. So when you come in, you're like, okay, what services are you interested in? There's website design and development. There's website maintenance, which are two different things. There's conversion rate optimization to optimize your website for better conversions. There's full stack SEO marketing, which is different. There's paid ads. There's product and service management. There's email marketing. There's podcast. There's Pinterest. There's billboard advertising. There's connected TV advertising, which I'll be talking about, later on this month, on how you can really have a small budget and really hit big screens, within a short time. And then logo branding kit. So these are ways that you can really go and do marketing in a really good way as a business, right? Because when you think about content SEO, you're really thinking about these things. Content, right? That's in form of a blog, that's an ebook, which is a PDF, which is a downloadable file. There's also a how-to guide. There are photos, which are your gallery, videos, and infographics. So if I look at the way content marketing is, and I'm so happy that you said this to, Joanne, about, like, you never knew that you could connect the SEO and social media. They're interconnected. And I'll give you a very good example. Go to the Shade Room, go to TMZ, go to CNN. I always give this example every time. Go to their Instagram and then look at their captions, right? And then take any of them, just pick a random one, and then read the caption. And then at the very end of that caption, you'll see, for more information about this story, I'm paraphrasing, click the link in bio. When you do that, when you click that link in bio, you're taking them from one property to another, right? So that means you're trying to, like, transporting them from Instagram.com to your website.com. So when they go to your website and they see the article about the topic that they just saw for 5 seconds or for 30 seconds, let me expand the time. They spend 30 seconds watching that video, and now they're seeing that there's more. Now they click on that link, they go to your bio, they now go to your website, and on your website, they see the same video they saw on Instagram on your website, and then they watch that video again. I hope this makes sense. They watch that video again. Now they're watching that video again on your website. That's two counts. One count was on Instagram. Instagram got that acquisition. The second count was on your website. Now you're getting that traffic, you're getting that watch time, you're getting that page session, right? There's something called a page session. A page session means that if somebody starts scrolling down, it's a session. When you start a session, the clock is ticking, right? So when you start a session, that session is something that you do consistently. So if the page is scrolling, if somebody goes down or up, that's where the session happens. So if you're creating content and that's attracting people to stay on the page, scroll down, find the page, stay there, watch the video, keep scrolling down, click on the link, sign up, join your email list, build, connect with you, then that's SEO. Because what's happening is that you're creating an experience for someone to really boost your experience online. And if you're using your social media to connect the dots, right? Your social media is going to be one of those great places that you can actually expand your reach. Because if I'm thinking about SEO and content and social media, I would be putting out content on my social media so that people know about my content on my website. If I didn't have a website, why am I posting on social media, especially if it's for business? If it's personal, post how you woke up this morning, post your favorite food of the day, post anything that makes you feel great. Personal, great, yes. If it's business, if you're posting anything on your business account and there's no link to your website, I'm sorry. It's going to get to a point where you'll be like, I wish I did this earlier. Because you felt it before when TikTok was not around for some time. You felt it a little bit, a little pinch. You felt it. People were scammering around like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? What's gonna go? I'm just in like thought mode, panic mode, and at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. But if you just calm down, breathe, think about it, process, and look back, you will be so happy that the post that you made a month ago, a year ago, a decade ago is still paying off today because you're able to put that article for someone yesterday.
Favor, favor.
Yes, go ahead.
I want you to speak to that TikTok when it went down for like 24 hours. What and I'm always on this where I'm telling people to have other ways of making money other than relying on Amazon, Walmart, TikTok, all those places where you are making money. The importance of having your own website where you are selling to people and you have a way to reach people. What is the importance of that?
Great question. So this is how I would say it, or this is how I'd put it. When you're putting out content, I feel like actually I talked about this earlier today in the Breakfast with Champions room. Shout out to Breakfast with Champions. And I talked about this and I was saying that the five places in 2025 that most people shop, yes, your website is definitely one of them, right? But the five places that people shop, just generally, I'm looking for, food, I'm looking for fruits, I'm looking for, a glass, I'm looking for just basic stuff. The five places that people search for things when they're in purchase mode in 2025, these are the numbers, or these are the platforms. One, Amazon. Two, Google. Three, YouTube. Four, Pinterest. And five, TikTok. Those are the five places that people search when they're in transaction mode, when they're in planning mode, when they're in thought mode. People go to YouTube for pre purchase and post purchase. If you're trying to change your tire or if you're trying to cook a meal, you're going to go to YouTube. You already bought the ingredients, you already bought the car. You're looking for the solution from that video. That's post purchase, right? Pre purchase is like Pinterest. You're planning, you're thinking about what to purchase, you're comparing, you're contrasting, you're processing, you're deciding. There's a threshold between those two. And if your content can become the intermediary between the two, Dr. Fashion, welcome to the room. Hey, you just popped in like, okay, I'm gonna pull up today. Thanks for being here. Where have you been?
Um, I've been here. I just pop in every now and then, but I'm glad to catch you. Did you just start the room? How late am I?
An hour.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Welcome, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Tell us about content because I would say you're the queen of content. And you've done it all. YouTube, Pinterest. The whole nine. What would you tell someone that's trying to struggle between these two platforms or try to understand what to do about them both?
Yeah. Well, first, I always tell people that I work with to figure out what the main goal is. We can all upload content, but every platform works differently. So it really just depends. But at the end of the day, trying out different formats works too. So I feel like you got to test out things to see what works. And then once you figure that out, stick to what's working for you so you can actually grow. But for the most part, I'm YouTube all the way because that's the only platform where people are watching it on TV. When have you ever heard somebody watching a Facebook video on TV? Probably never. So that's where we are now. And things are changing. So whatever I was teaching last year, it could be different this year because social media is constantly changing. So you always got to keep up to date with everything.
You're so right. You are so right on that. I was actually looking at some accounts this morning for some YouTube channels that we're managing, and I started noticing. You want to say something?
No, I'm
Okay.
listening.
I noticed that some people, because there are about seven different accounts, so each of them have their own threshold, and I'm like, okay, why is this one doing better than this one? Why is this one doing less than this one? Like, it's always some math going on. And I realized today that it boiled down to three things, and I was like, okay, with YouTube, I started noticing that, and it's not just a like a sticker, but there's a way to go around it. I noticed that if you put a thumbs up emoji after the video text, after the actual title, something happens in the algorithm. It's something, such a weird way of doing it, but I've been actually checking out this formula. And then, like you said with TV, if you have playlists, then people can watch those playlists on TV. And then it gets to a point where people actually, if you look at your analytics, sometimes TV could actually come before computer or mobile because people spend more time on TV watching your show. So, have you seen anything like that lately when it comes to like playlists, TV, and search?
Yeah, yeah, I have seen that working really great on TV. I get a lot of feedback from people that has been binge watching when someone creates a playlist. And as far as the emojis, YouTube said they work really well. They just tell us don't put too many. So like one or two is great. And I actually use them quite a bit in my titles. And I find that people tend to actually engage more when I have emojis. So sometimes I could verbally say to do something, but when they see that emoji, it hits a little bit different.
That's true. It does something completely different to the algorithm, and it kind of pushes it up in a way. Even with email too, it's the same thing. So I definitely understand that, right now it's a good time to really connect to people online, show up, just market your product in a way that people feel like, okay, I don't feel like I'm being sold to. I feel like I'm learning from this person. Because the more you're able to learn from someone, eventually they'll be like, okay, let's work. And that work will happen after the trust is earned. You don't just work with somebody that they don't trust you. You have to be in a place where they have to really trust that you can do this. And even though things may go tough, it's like a relationship. You have to build, you have to work through it. But if you just ignore it completely, and just sidebar it, then that's not going to be a good relationship. And at some point, you don't want to have the repercussions of those things. So it's just being good, doing good, and being authentically you that will make you better for people that you're around. So it's a really good thing to think about. So, yeah, I definitely see that even when it comes to platforms, I see, Tracy even talked about earlier, IG and Facebook. Wendy talked about Instagram and LinkedIn. C Marie, hey C Marie, talked about, chat and LinkedIn. These are great platforms to be on, where you can actually connect with people, share your stories, tell people in real time what's happening and learn. Because the more you're able to learn with them, the faster you're able to grow. So it's just taking that leap of faith and saying, okay, I want to do both, but how can I do both? Okay, I want to do both. Here's a plan. Break this down into two things. Use the Pareto principle. 80%, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before we wrap up the room in 5 minutes. Use the Pareto principle. 80% should be spent on content SEO marketing. What does that entail? Research, right? Whether it's going to take you an hour to do research, 30 minutes, use AI, whatever you need to do research first. Before you design any Canva, picture, canvas, do research first, because that research will save you a lot of stress in the future, like archiving posts, redoing posts. You want to do your research first. So when you do your content SEO marketing, that 80% has research. With that research, you want to turn that research into writing, right? Either you're using AI to write it, or you're actually doing both. You're able to now process that for yourself. When you write it, make sure that what you're writing is something that people need, because you've done research. So people are asking this question, this question, this question, this question. And then when you can answer those questions, move on to the next question. If I answer another question in the middle of answering the first question, then I've totally lost your process, your train of thought. Now we're just jibby jabbering, and it's a process as well. And you don't want people to go through that kind of process. You want people to process things better so that they can actually understand it, be very clear, concise, precise. And that way, the more clarity you're giving to the person that you're talking to, the better they can understand it, and then they can feel connected to your content. So think about content as your marketing like that. Think about your research, then think about how you're going to put that content into writing. And then through your writing, tell a story, right? It could be any kind of story. It could be a story of something popular saying. It could be an experience you had internally with your team, with your clients, whatever it is that will drive the message home, that will help the other person on the other side see it. Do it in that way. That's 80%. And then the final piece of that cake of the 80% is posting it on your website. When you post it on your website, text, audio, video, visual, text, audio, video, visual. That's text, audio, video, image, right? Because it's a visual, whether it's a thumbnail or an infographic, have it there. That's content SEO. Because those things, why is it called content SEO? Because all of them, this is literally the only reason. They all have file extensions. Text is TXT, right? And that's SEO. Whenever you connect your website Search Console, it's TXT, or CNAME, canonical name. It's TXT, right? Audio, that's MP3, right? Or WAV file. That's podcast. YouTube, that's MP4. Visual, that's JPEG, that's WebP, that's PNG, right? They're all file extensions. That's content SEO. Ebooks, that's PDF, right? These are all file extensions. Then social media marketing is now taking those extensions and then extending them to a community, right? Like on Facebook, in Facebook groups, you can upload PDFs. I don't know if you know that. LinkedIn, you can upload PDFs, right? Pinterest, you can upload images, videos. Instagram, same thing. Clubhouse is audio. Podcast is audio. So these are social media platforms that you can connect with other social connectors. But what's going to connect everything back to the center is your website. If your website is not generating traffic, then you're not being seen. Those pages that are being written on your website a month ago, 2 months ago, 10 months ago, those same pages will help you save money in the future, because it's like credit, right? The longer your credit history, the more you have equity, right? Because you have more experience, you have more reports, you have more depth, right? There's more intelligence. There's something that's comprehensive. So doing that will help your business grow. So just choose one platform. That 20% is literally just taking whatever you've done research on and you've posted, you take that to social media. You post and say, hey guys, this is what I did. Check it out on my website. Boom. That's the social media marketing. Because marketing means you show up on social media, you post, and you connect. The meat and potatoes is that content SEO on the back end. Because if I just tell you how to do social media marketing in 5 steps on a reel, but I don't have that in form of a text on a website, then 19 hours after that, the lifespan of an Instagram post is about 19 hours. So those 19 hours you spent approximately to edit, to cut, to use CapCut, to do all these things. And now those 19 hours you spent is gone, vanished in 19 hours after you posted because you didn't prolong that post. Yes, Juliana. After you posted it on the platform, it's because there are so many posts that are being posted on that platform every day. We've been in this room for about an hour, 10 minutes, and only God knows how many posts have been posted on social media between the last hour we've been on this platform. So just think about where you're posting and then where you reconnect with people and send them back. It's a bridge. It's a two-way street. I hope this helped. Julianne, you want to say anything before we go?
Yeah, I just want to put, I know this is marketing room, but I like to always put my 2 cents about taxes. Everybody is struggling trying to get their taxes done, but I know some of you are business owners. Some of you do have partnership tax returns to be done, Form 1065. Some of you have S corporations because somebody was telling everybody to do an S corp, and so a lot of you have made that election, but you don't know that you need to file by March 15, which is Saturday, but because it falls on a Saturday, it's due on Monday. If you are unable to do so, make sure that you file an extension. It's so important, especially the S corps and the partnership. There's huge penalties for every month that is late. I've seen penalties in upwards of $5,000 because it's like 210 per partner per month. So if you get nothing from me, go ahead and file an extension. Use a tax software so that you make sure that it's done electronically. You can do paper, but I promise you it may get lost at the IRS when you mail them anything paper. So if you're using TurboTax or whatever tax software you are using, file an extension, use the form 7004, which is what you can use, and then select, make sure that you pick the right category. If everything sounds gibberish to you, send me a quick message from my website. It's on my profile here, and I'll tell you the instructions on where to go. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you, Juliana. So important. You can't miss out on that at all. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Dr. Fashion, you like to say anything before we go?
I think based off the topic, I would say to leverage automation and AI. So I use a lot of tools for like scheduling out things, even with my email marketing and customer service. And then also just using tools like ChatGPT and even Canva to automate a lot of your softwares that you're using. A lot of people don't know like ChatGPT has a lot of apps integrated within the app where it could just make your life a lot easier as an entrepreneur, especially if you don't have a team. So that's my tip for the day.
I appreciate you. Yes, automation is the future. So much out there to definitely do. And yeah, I think when you told me about your AI influences at Coachella, that's when I knew that, this life is is really interesting now.
Yes, AI influencer is a thing. And now we have AI agents. So that's something if you guys want to look into it, if you need someone to kind of handle the day-to-day task on your social media, there are companies out there now that are producing AI agents that will handle the customer service on your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever platform you're active on where you're selling a product or service. So that's worth looking into.
100%. I love it when we get to the end of a room and we just have all this gems. It's like we got to start the room again. No, this is good. This is super, super good. So if you get into this point at the end, then that means you really enjoyed the conversation and you learned something and you actually were paying attention because now it's for you to apply. The ball is in your court. Now let's see how far you can hoop that and, have a great time. Thank you, Juliana. Appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Great time. We're about to wrap this up. Sack Black, Shay, Cameron, Richard, Jasmine, Mohammed, Rayan, C. Marie, and Jawan, Dr. Fashion, and Juliana. Appreciate you all for being here. God bless you all. Enjoy your Monday. Enjoy your new week. Enjoy all the good things that are coming your way. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care.
Happy Monday. Bye.
One day.